Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to You and It's Time We Talk, Season 1, Episode 2. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know we had some technical difficulties last week, so we're trying to work everything out right now. So if you see anything, any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll make adjustments as we go. But thank you guys for tuning in once again. As I said, this is You and It's Time We Talk. Season 1, Episode 2, back again. This episode will be sponsored by Alice Tucker and Essence Alterations. Thank you for the sponsorship. And today we will be talking about entrepreneurship, something that's very big. I see a lot of entrepreneurs online today, so this is something, like I said last week, it's a time to be educated for all of us. It's something, a lot of valuable information that you don't know. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to leave them in the comments. And once again, today, I'll be joined by the panel once again, Mr. Mika Wilson, Mr. TJ Booker, Alex Tucker, and we had two very special guests with us this evening. Ms. Jami Tramell, Executive Director of Union County Chamber of Commerce. Jami Tramell has spearheaded the Chamber's reorganization since her selection in 2017. Under her leadership in 2018 and 2019, the Chamber membership increased from 76 to over 124, and the number is still growing. She was assistant to the Executive Director of Union County Development Board, whose mission is to recruit industries to Union County. Her experience at UCDB directly translated to the success of the Chamber of focuses on recruiting retail businesses, from Belmont Farm Bake Shop to Low Country Urgent Care. Numerous entrepreneurs have chosen Union as their destination to open a small business. Jami has worked with nonprofits such as Meals on Wheels of Union County and Uniquely Union Festival in a fundraising capacity. She earned her degree in business administration from Limestone University. She completed the South Carolina Economic Development Institute in 2001 and the best practice for local economic development professionals in 2014 at Clemson University. Also, our other special guest is Ms. Katherine Pendergrass, Director of Union County Community Development. She has facilitated training in diverse audiences throughout the United States and abroad, and performed various duties such as program consultant, instructor, counselor, and community service coordinator. Some other things in the community she's done: the USC Union, the Advisory Board, the ACC Union Advisory Board, Union County Economic Development Board, Small Business Development Center Board, Goodwill Industries of Upstate Midland, South Carolina Board, Davidson Alumni Association President. She's also wrote columns for Union Daily Times newspaper and authored a book, Words to the Wise About Money. So thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege. Like I always said, this is a platform, something positive. You know, it's a platform to educate and also for us to be educated, because it's a lot of information out here that a lot of people don't know. Including myself, I put myself in there, so it's just an honor and privilege to have you ladies here. So to start things off, the very first thing that I would like to know for myself personally is, Ms. Jami, what exactly is the Chamber of Commerce?
The Chamber of Commerce is an organization that supports businesses, small businesses, large businesses, industries, and that is a wide range of support. And that support can mean social media, that can mean all sorts of things, even down to supporting you by bringing more traffic, by recruiting business. So it's a big picture kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing that we won't do to help a business succeed within the legal limits. We do all sorts of stuff to help people, and we have listed like the incentives that members have. We have all that listed, but we walk well outside of that list a lot of times because every member has a different need. Everybody has a strength or a weakness, and we try to find and feel that weakness for that person to get them up and going.
Anybody else have?
I got a question. So this is for the chamber, by the way. It's a pleasure to get to talk with a lot of guys. This is what I said. So explain to me the process of a newly entered business into the Union County Business Database. Let's just call it for layman terms. Does the chamber go and recruit that business, or does the business have to come to the chamber?
Both. We do both. We are actively, So somebody comes through the door at the chamber and says, I want to start a clothing boutique. And this just happened. So tell me how I can do that. Well, one of the tools that we have in our toolbox is the Small Business Development Corporation, which is at Winthrop, Rock Hill, and they serve a multi-county region and unions in that region. And Katherine and I both serve on that advisory board, but I would send you to the SBDC, who has a plethora of free tools. They'll help you develop a marketing plan, a business plan, just all sorts of endless things that they'll help you go and get started. Then you come back to me, then we can sit back and look and see, are you qualified for any incentives? What's out there that can help you financially? We'll put you in touch with those people. We'll follow it out as much as we can. And then when it's time for you to go and get your permitting and that stuff, you'll go over to the City of Union and start there. But we have helped people find the location that they're going into. We sit down with you on the computer and I will virtually ride down the street with you, and we will pick out a building, we'll pick out an owner, and we'll start, okay, contact. So it like I said, it varies from topic to topic. Now, we have contracted with the County of Union to do retail recruitment, which we are currently engaged in, and we have been since 2017. So what that means is we are actively trying to find people to come here, and every day we fall into a criteria. We are told no automatically because of our demographics, because of our numbers, because of who we are and our population. We're already told no. So it has been my job to find a way to get around that. And it's hard with the chains. So you have to rely on your mom and pops. You have to rely on the people who see something in Union County and want to invest. So that's kind of where we are. And we just signed with a company called Retail Strategies. The chamber is actually the liaison for the city and county. The city and county entered into the agreement with Retail Strategies. The chamber is the running point on that. This group will market us globally. They have great track records, and that was actually how I found them. So I want a Chick-fil-A like really bad. Like selfishly, I want Chick-fil-A. So I started my job in 2017 calling Chick-fil-A every day, or sending an email, or submitting a site, something to Chick-fil-A, and I've never heard a peep back from anybody. I've got people on LinkedIn, I've been emailing, trying to get in the holes, there's no holes. So I had a friend call who is in the Chick-fil-A family and said, they have started a Chick-fil-A in Greenville, Tennessee. Greenville, Tennessee has 14,000 people, so you need to figure out what they're doing. So of course, I got online to figure out who the city planner was for Greenville, Tennessee. Her name was Logan Engel. I called Logan and I said, let's talk, girl. What you doing? What you doing in Greenville, Tennessee? She said in 3.5 years, and she just started listing stuff. They had announced a drive time, a Audi, she just kept going, and it was more stuff than I could write. And I said, what are you guys doing? And she said, well, Retail Strategies is marketing us. And they go a step further. So they pull in tools that we don't use, such as cell phone pings. So it takes our population and amplifies it. It takes debit card swipes. It takes our population and amplifies it. So it takes the positives and puts a good spin on them. So we're really excited about that. We're just in the first 60 days. We've signed a 3-year contract with an out if we don't like it. So we've signed a 3-year contract with them. I'm excited. The 4-alarm fire for us right now is a grocery store. We don't want to lose that buy load. They're going. But we're working tooth and nail to find a replacement. We want to have a butcher shop. We want to have a meat. We don't want, to not be able to have fresh cut meat in Union County. So, we're looking hard for a grocery store. That was a long answer. I'm so sorry, but it was a long answer.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know you got one to wrap up.
Yeah, so I know you talked about Chick-fil-A, and I have had discussions about, how do we get some of these mainstream franchises to come in? And a lot of people complain because they say, oh, why haven't we gotten XYZ? And you touched on it a little bit, but there's also a financial piece to being a franchise owner. And a lot of people don't realize that it's going to cost money to invest. For someone to invest in that business to bring it here.
That's right.
Like a McDonald's might cost $1 million just to start. So I don't know about Catherine. You got $1 million? No,
Not quite, almost.
I don't have $1 million. So for the smaller businesses, the restaurants that are coming in, what do you tell them to say, I want to set up like the Main Street Deli? What are the things that you can do as a chamber for them compared to, say, a larger chain?
Well, and Mr. Patel is a great example. Mr. Patel is not social media savvy. He does not do Facebook. So I knew the initial appearance of him, not his appearance, but his initial social media debut needed to be huge. So the day that he joined the chamber, I put him out there, and I put it out there. There's a new restaurant coming. So that was singularly the largest probably post that I've done. That when he joined, but when he opened, I did a post that he was open. Yay, he was open, and I put $10 to it. $10. I boosted that post for $10. 296 shares, and it reached 22,000 people.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
It was fantastic. And he came back the next Monday and said, do it again. I don't know what you did, but do it again. And there is a Main Street merchant who was anonymously running him a Facebook page. We're desperate for him to do well. We want him to do well. And we want any small business to do well. We will literally do anything to make people be successful. We want people, and I said this from the beginning when I started this job, if people can love union just the nth of the way that I love it through me, then I'm doing my job.
I want to get Ms. Pendergrass. I want to get you involved in just a second, but one more thing. You were just saying how you posted that, boosted that post on Facebook. How important is it? Would you say is it for like small businesses to have a social media account?
It is critical now. It is critical. So, the older. So let me back up. The first task of the day for us, we have 134 members. I know the bio said 124, but yay, we have 134 members. And the first task of every day is to go to every one of those Facebook pages and share either yesterday or this morning's post for every member. So we do that every single day, every single morning. And if you haven't posted in a long time, you're missing out. So what we have started doing, was going into the merchant or the shop that doesn't have social media, and we've kind of started taking some pictures around and posting those pictures for that person, because I just feel like people shop visually now. They see what they want to see on social media and go and tangibly pick it up and take it. They want to go in the store, but they want to see it online. They want to see, oh my gosh, I love that. Let me go get it. So I just think it's mission critical, and that's a way that merchants can help themselves.
So Ms. Pendergrass, I want to throw you in this conversation also. What do you think a lot of businesses, small businesses also, I don't like saying small businesses, because I feel like for anybody that starts a business, it's a bigger company. A lot of businesses struggle or fall short at it, and why some of them may not last as long.
Several reasons. One of the main ones, and I realized this with this COVID-19, when a lot of people were trying to apply for loans. A lot of your, I'd say small business, but a lot of your small business owners, they don't keep up with paperwork. That is so critical. You need to have your documentation. You need to have QuickBooks or some method of keeping up with your records, because when you go and you're asking for help, that's the first thing they ask for. They want to see it. They want to see what you've done. They want to see a couple years. So for me, it's most important to make sure that you have your paperwork, have it in order. A lot of times, and I'm just using this as an example, a lot of times, let's say, maybe barbers and stylists, it's good to make money and it's good to put it in your pocket, but then when you go out to try to buy something, and you know you've probably made $100,000 that year, but on paper it only looks like you made $10,000, and so no one wants to give you any money, no one wants to loan you anything or do anything for you. So for me, it's critical to have great paperwork. The other thing, and I think Tamika had alluded to this, another thing that I noticed is that sometimes people want to open a business and they don't have the money. Especially, you mentioned restaurant. So I remember someone that wanted to open a restaurant and didn't even have a double figure in the bank. And so it's difficult to start a business unless you have like a little cushion, because at some point you're going to need a little something extra. So that's important too. For me, when my husband and I opened our business, we decided on a franchise, because with that, they tell you everything, every step by step. I mean, there's no way you can fail because it's step by step, proven record. The only part I didn't like about the franchise was paying the royalties, because you have to pay those royalties and the marketing fees. But all in all, it was a good business. We had that business for 10 years, and so we sold it, and it worked out well. So those are the things when you want to start a business, you look and you see, do I want to do something on my own, or do I want to do a franchise? I've always started businesses, some of them successful, some not. I had a food service business, and to me it was doing well until on the weekends I'd go in and work. During the week I'd have someone else working. And on the weekend when I went in, they'd say, well, Kathy didn't charge me that much. Kathy gave me more. And then things were disappearing out of the freezer. And so if you have a business, it's always good to be around that business as much as you can as well. So
I'll let you.
Speaking on that part, a good tax accountant, when you do have a business, I know you gotta have that. And they can kind of tell you some of the loopholes, like cell phones. Everybody has a cell phone, you know, but when you own a business, that cell phone that you're gonna use anyway
Yes.
it's an asset to you.
Absolutely.
Even your children's
Yes.
cell phone. Can you kind of explain to people how important it is?
It's important to make sure everything you do, you should say it's part of your business. If you have a teenager, if you have a child, and they come and do something in your shop, you write them out. I mean,
Pay
exactly,
them. Yeah.
exactly. But all those things help as far as it helps as a write-off. It helps add money to your pocket. So it's very good when you utilize those things. If I needed a new, what do you call that thing? If I need a new iPad, I'd go buy it. That's for the company. That's for my business. Everything can be for your business, and I would take full advantage of that.
And being a tax accountant for many years, a lot of people didn't even realize that even your children, if they can sweep the floor like mine, I can pay them. So when we go to McDonald's, they want something to eat, hey guy, you buy it.
That's right.
And that's a write-off because, and I think there's a certain amount that they can make that they don't even have to file. Is it $10,000?
I can't remember the amount, but yes, there is a certain amount that they don't have to file. And it works so wonderfully well when you utilize all those tools, the children, the extra things that you need to get. It works real well. So that's another reason why people should have, even if it's not a full-time business, a part-time, Mary Kay or Avon, whatever it is. Plus your mileage. I mean, there's so many things that you can count on.
So I just want to rehash for you guys out there in Facebook Live world, right? Ms. Pendergrass mentioned cash flow. You need to have some double digits in cash flow. If you don't have that, then you're going to have to bootstrap your business. That's what's going to have to be done. Also, documentation is really important. And for all of you entrepreneurs out there, I like to tell people that, like, you know, really that rely on that, like their close family members support you. And this is some real information. This is going to help you out in the future. If you're relying on family and friends to support your business, that's a hobby. A small business is statewide in South Carolina unless you got license everywhere. So you need to be able to branch out into multi-counties and network. And 99% of, what is it, 99% of success is showing up, right? You know, so you're gonna have to be mobile in this age. You're gonna have to go out here and get it. Speaking from experience for Esther's Alterations, every year I found something to change myself. I've always evolved, whether it was in 2018, we started selling t-shirts there, and that put me in the green there, you know. Then COVID happened, now we got masks, and then now we started doing our wedding dresses, prom dresses. It was just constantly keep coming up with different things, constantly staying innovative, and that's my piece that I want to give you guys. If you don't try it, you never know what happens. Don't be afraid of the unknown in business. Like, I've taken losses before, you know. It's about how you respond to those losses, you know. So
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
And you can't say enough about networking.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
Like,
That Chamber of Commerce is a key, I think, network. And a lot of our businesses are just not part of that network. How do we help them to be a part of that network and appreciate what it can do for them?
so, and I preach this all the time. Your church, your YMCA membership, your chamber membership. You're gonna get in, you're gonna get out what you put in. If you don't put anything in, you're not gonna get anything out. So if you show up and say, the chamber wasn't for me, I didn't, get anything out of that. Well, did you show up at any of the networking events? Did you come to any of the ribbon cuttings? Did you come to any of the learning sessions, which have certainly been halted because of COVID? But we do a lot of things that, and provide a lot of tools that put you together. And that's the whole deal, is connecting people, connecting A, B to Z, whatever, connecting the unit. And I talk about this young lady, and she's gonna get so tired of me talking about her. But you guys know how union is. We are like, if you don't know each other, you don't branch out too much. So Ashley Rainwater, when she moved here from Florida, I thought, this poor girl, she came here to be a hair salon beautician. Yeah, and I thought, this girl, everybody is locked down with a beauty salon, and she had this completely different model of a beauty salon. She did things in a completely different way than we were ever accustomed to here. And I'm thinking in my mind, bless her heart. But she shows up at every single ribbon cutting. She's at every single thing that chamber does. She is bought in, sold in. She is there putting her card in your hand, and she's saying, hey, my name is Ashley, and the next time you need a haircut, wash, color, come see me, I'm your girl. And I'm going to tell you what, she's doing great, and people know who she is now. Y'all, when I said her name, you knew who she was. People know who she is because of the networking. And she is, I push that all the time. If you're not networking, you're missing out.
So let me ask you two ladies here, because this is union, it's time we talk. Let's talk about the stigma of, small business can't be successful in union. Why do you feel that people say that?
Well, now, let me just give you my experience when I first came here, okay? And it's probably not good, but I'm going to share it anyway. So when I first moved here, it's like I was an outsider, and people didn't really know who I was. And when I tried to open my business, the first year that we opened, I was ready to close because money wasn't coming in, customers weren't coming in, people didn't want, they were pushing me out. The building that I had is a large building, so the front of the building was a tax, and in the back I tried to open up a consignment shop, trying to do more. Exactly, trying to do more. Well, how about one of the merchants came to me and said that I couldn't do it. They didn't even own the building. The owner of the building told me I could. So I just got very much frustrated, and I got angry with God, and I just said, Lord, take this, you have to handle it. Well, a lot of things happen, and I always say, thank you, Lord, you took care of that problem. I won't tell you what the things are because they're kind of not so good. So anyway, with that, then I started getting involved in the community. I started writing an article in the newspaper. I started volunteering to do different things, making myself known. So that was important to me, coming in, making myself known so I could grow my business. The business, once I did that and people got to know me, then it thrived. So business can succeed here, but you have to work at it. And to me, what's most important in any business, customer service.
Extremely.
Customer service.
Extremely.
Yes. You can't have a nasty attitude and think you're gonna continue to get customers. You have to be customer service oriented.
And just, go ahead, Tamika, you got something right there?
Oh, no, just,
I think that's
TJ.
I was about to say, as far as what you just said, a lot of people think they can run a business, but they don't want to deal with other people. You might as well hang that up. That's not going to work.
That's
You have to smile when you feel like crying. You go into the store. My wife said, "You have been in Walmart 10 minutes. I gotta speak to these people. I gotta talk to them." So, sorry what you were saying. You got
And then when people are angry and they want to curse you out or whatever you want to call it, then you have to take it. I mean, I can't get into a back and forth. I take it and see if we can work something out.
No, I tell my grandmother and other business associates all the time, in this business we'll never win. We'll never argue to win with a customer.
That's right.
We'll never do that, right? You will take it and you can come and get to me later. But both of you ladies said something that is a benefit to Union County citizens about the insider value that is here, right? To be inside Union is to be a great thing. That's one thing that we have a community-based, small business. Everybody knows everybody's business they're just about. Do you think a bigger franchise, Chick-fil-A, would ultimately come in and disrupt that?
good question.
My hope is not. My hope is not. So I would never want anybody to come in here and hurt the Dario or Andy's or I would never want anybody to come and take away from them. But at the end of the day, we're building something larger than what we have right here. So we don't want to just cater to what we have here. We're building a larger picture. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So some of the top priorities are housing and quality of life. So we hear all the time that people aren't here because we don't have adequate housing. Well, why don't we have adequate housing? Well, so I'll give you an example. A new HR manager moves here from up north, and he and I meet, and I said, "Oh, that's great. Where'd you buy your home?" Spartanburg County. Why'd you do that? I did that because my wife said there was not adequate housing and not adequate shopping. So we gotta build it. We gotta build it. We can't just keep catering to me and you. We gotta build it. So when we start building the franchises or the larger mom and pops, then and simultaneously, let's be building that housing model. Let's be working, let's be going, because we gotta start recruiting people in here. We can't keep losing the population. We gotta turn this thing around, and if we don't turn it around here really soon, it's sad. We gotta get it turned around.
Speaking on housing, this is as far as business wise, a lot of people don't realize that your house is your first and one of your most important assets. If you own a house, and I was doing some walking yesterday and I seen a lot of houses that people just didn't fall in.
Oh yeah.
That's money that you just losing. If you take that house that your grandmama owned, if you take that house, put some paint on it, remodel the floors, stuff that you can do yourself. Now you have some equity.
That's right.
Now that house that you letting fall down could earn you $100,000. If you fix that house up, now you got $100,000.
Right.
People don't realize that, and I don't think they know that. That's where like Roger Milliken, when he had all these places, he didn't so much have that money. He had equity in those buildings. So if you own a house out there, if you got grandma's house, fix grandma's house up. Because one day it's going to be your house.
That's right. If nothing else, rent it.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurship.
That's right.
And you know what? I feel bad because I kind of discounted myself in this conversation, not realizing that I am a landlord. So I am an entrepreneur. I have two properties.
Absolutely.
That I earn income. So having multiple streams of income, you've heard that before, is very key, and that can be the launching pad, like you said, TJ, to other businesses and other opportunities. So you kind of start out small as maybe as a landlord for one or two properties, fix those up, and now you have equity that you can actually start for another business. I did want to ask you guys, what is your thoughts on, I think a lot of times people see the barrier as, oh, I have to have a degree in order to start a business. I have to have, X, Y, Z, check these things in order to have a business. What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
barrier?
I'll
What's the barrier?
tell anybody that is in a hardship that I run into, I tell them straight every time. When I was in college, the number one way to get money, hear me now,
Take something free.
take something free and sell it.
That's number one.
That is entrepreneurship from the beginning, birth right there. Like
T-shirts,
whatever.
T-shirts.
That's what a thrift store is. That's what a salvation.
Yeah,
You
that's
take that house.
Good model right there.
Yeah.
Good building industries, that's what
Tell
they
And listen, as far as I have people say they're gonna go to school to take up business, to start a business, I'm like, what do you think?
Yeah.
I know people that make good living and never been to college. You don't have to go to college to have a successful business. You gotta have a plan, you gotta be able to work.
Yeah.
And like you said, take something free and turn around and sell it.
I don't
If
think
you-
anything can substitute drive and passion.
No,
That's
yeah, all of it together.
And as far as you gotta have that drive. When you wanna start your business or run a business, right now, I will not take on a new series to binge watch something.
Okay.
That takes too much time.
Yeah.
There's people that watch, when I heard about The Walking Dead, it's a good show, but it's like 50 episodes.
Oh, wow.
50 seasons. I don't have time to sit back there and watch that. Because you're wasting valuable time to be an entrepreneur, sitting back watching Netflix. You want to be what Netflix is. You're gonna have to get away from that couch.
You mentioned time. You have to put in time. You can't, and your business can't just be limited to 8 hours a day.
No.
I mean, you have to work it.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to put in that extra time. When you first start a business, when I was working full time, I started a business on the side.
That's
on
how
the
you make it
side,
work, yeah.
because I would work the 40 hours a week, and then I worked at night or on the weekend, because you have to have that drive, that passion. You have to want to achieve. You have to want more than, greater than, and you have to be willing to put that
And
time.
that's one of the things I don't want to make about me, but I'm thankful to have a job. But when I go in and I look at all the stuff that I'm doing for this job, I'm like, man, regardless of everything that I'm doing for them, none of this stuff is mine in here at all. Like they can walk me out the door at the end of my shift and I'm done. I'm like, so it's like for me, I know I have something greater to achieve. So that's why I'm always driving myself. And I'm like, okay, if I'm putting in these X amount of hours in my job, I need to work just as hard at my own craft. Because I'm like, this, at the end of the day, none of this stuff is mine. I don't own it. I'm thankful to have a job and be able to, take care of everything I need to. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just driven to, keep pushing myself. Because like at the end of the day, this stuff, we all gotta leave here someday, but I want to have something I can pass down, for generations.
I like what you said, craft. Study your craft, learn your craft, execute your craft. A lot of people don't want to put in the work to get that craft. So, I think about, basketball analogy, Michael Jordan. They're playing every day. They're practicing every day. So you got to put the same passion, the same drive into your entrepreneurship, into your business, whatever that business is. I did want to ask the question, do you guys think that entrepreneurship or starting a business is a young person's game? Or is it for everybody?
Oh, I got you here. I think entrepreneurship is earned. It's earned and learned. They go hand in hand. The more you continue to grow in your business, the more skill sets that you're going to add to your arsenal and be able to move better and make better decisions. So you earn those by making mistakes. You earn those by putting that effort in, that passion, that drive. You earn those by giving that time, right? You earn that by that customer service, and then you ultimately learn how to do it better the next time, because any entrepreneur true at heart is always going to be coming up with something new in their mind. Always got something right there ringing around.
You got to.
Yeah. So that's my take on that. It's for anybody.
As far as age, when I first started, I think I was in the middle school. I would go to the discount market.
Yeah.
I would buy nowadays for 10 cents. Get to school, those little kids come running up. I sold them for a quarter a pack. You know, and that started from that young age. And I used to also go out and cut grass. You know, free. I mean, that's your yard. That's your grass. I'm bringing my lawnmower over here to cut your grass. So it really don't have an age. You just gotta have a passion and a
That's
drive to want it.
That's it.
And we are seeing younger entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're seeing, when they come through the door and say, hey, I wanna do this, hey, I wanna do that. The last few times they've been, under 30, I'd say, which is exciting.
It is.
So,
Let me ask you a question for you two ladies about the benefits of small businesses in union and how it stimulates our economy, right? Why shop small? That's my question. Why shop local? Why shop here? Why shop now?
it's critical to shop local, especially now. It's so easy to decide what you want on Amazon and hit 2 buttons and it's at your front door. It's really, really easy. But we have to make the effort. Like, if you want Union to be this bustling, thriving little community, if you want good things for Union, you have to support local. Otherwise, we're not going to grow. We're not going to thrive. It's in your best interest to shop local, not just that shop owners, but your best interest to shop local.
And speaking on that Chick-fil-A, if we were to get one, you eat 3 times a day at least. Most people do. So
Yeah.
don't think because you eat at Chick-fil-A, you're going to forget about the local
That's right.
place
That's right.
if it's here.
That's
So we
right.
can't.
That's
you know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat the same thing every day anyway. You know.
What do you ladies think may have potentially stunted the growth of Union, if anything?
Great question.
Well,
How do we fix
that's an excellent question. What was stunting was, like I said, when I first got here and they tried to keep me out, because what that person came to me and said is that I couldn't do it because I would interfere with their spouse's business. And I said, it's enough for everybody. That's just like my tax business. Okay, you've got 4 or 5, more than that, tax businesses, and I would always say it's enough for everybody.
It is.
The ones that will not last are the ones that will not do the right thing and will not have good customer service. So I don't care how many you have. So you can't try to keep people out. There's enough for everybody, and we should try to help each other. Whatever your business is, don't look at me as a competitor. Look at me as someone we can help each other grow.
An asset.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think, and I could be completely wrong, but just my assessment, I think that we get stagnant. For example, you're just there and you're just churning the water, but nothing's moving, and it's because you've been there, you're complacent, and I don't know that you can see it happening when you're in the midst of it. And then you get 10, 20 years down the road and you look back and you say, what happened? And it was because maybe the forwardness, the whatever, maybe it just wasn't there. I don't know where to shift the blame or put the blame. All I know is I believe that in order to change something, you have to do it from the inside. So as long as I'm sitting on my couch fussing about what's happening, I'm not changing anything. But now I am in the chamber seat. So I just want to push, and I just want to keep moving to the next thing, And I don't know what happened in the past, but I know we are moving now. So
How can we, go ahead, T.
I was going to ask, how could you get in the chamber?
Oh, go.
just come see me, come join. There are several different levels.
No, you go ahead, then I want to tell my story. Please.
Okay, Katherine and Tamika both are individual members, so you don't have to be a business member. My parents are individual members. They want to support the chamber. And so you have your Gestamp level, and then you have your business, your normal business, and then you have an individual level. So there's several levels you can come in at, and there's different incentives for each of those levels. But like I said before, you're buying into the business community. If you never get anything out of it, you don't ever come and network, you're providing a platform for somebody to be able to recruit and talk about. And so whether the guy down the street is a chamber member or not, I'm actually affecting their business when I'm recruiting John Doe to Main Street, or even Duncan Bypass. Feet on the street is sometimes how I can best help anybody and the local economy.
Let me just say this, I'm a firm believer in the chamber. Before Jami came on board, I did win Small Business of the Year from the chamber. But, so, after I sold my business, and I thought, okay, so I'm not a business owner anymore, so I don't need to belong to the chamber. I was in Jami's office one day, and I heard her talking about everything that the chamber does. And I knew the chamber did a lot of stuff. But as she was talking, I kept saying, wow, I need to get back in here. So then I found out I could become an individual member. And I'm going to tell you this, my membership, what Jami does for me, she does a lot more than my membership costs. And I mean, that's from flyers to information. I wanted to have a women's conference, and Jami said, well, all you have to do is add that $10 thing. Add $10 and we can boost this. Boy, she boosted that thing. It was amazing. So my little bit of money that I pay to belong to the chamber, it just keeps paying and paying and paying because I got a good deal. So if you join as whether it's individual or business, the woman works for you. I have my own personal marketing person, and that's basically what she does.
I want to go back to something you said earlier, and I want both of you ladies to comment on it.
Say bye, Robert.
But I'm telling the truth though, really.
Yeah.
But something you said something earlier about, when you had your business, somebody came in and told you you can't do it because it interfered with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
How do we prevent that? Because we do have businesses that have been here for decades, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but they've been here for decades, so they may hold a lot of clout in the community. So how do we prevent that from happening to where you may open a restaurant or any other kind of business and somebody may come in and say you're interfering with theirs? How do we prevent that from happening? Like you said, business, there's enough room for everybody, but those businesses that have been here for decades, they don't have a lot of clout in town.
Great question. And simple as this, iron sharpens iron. There was another alteration store in town, and she had a retail, so she was technically better than me. She was doing alterations and she had selling clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that as competition. I saw it as an opportunity. Being able to see her model and to see the way that she ran her business and her hours, that allowed me to gauge the way I should run my business to be successful. And ultimately, it worked out. And I kept mine solely as alterations. So. You're not going to get away from the competition. Competition is good. Competition breeds ambition, drive, resiliency. And naturally, like we said last episode, the people of Union County, we are natural competitors. We want to win. We win from Stinger to Little League to high school to going off to college. What do you want to do? You want to represent us well. And you got a certain pride about yourself. So to get past the competition, embrace it and grow within it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a question from J. Rock Smith. He asked how much for an individual to join. It's $100 for individuals.
That's right.
And that's for the year, and then $200 for entrepreneurs that have a business license.
That's right.
Correct?
That's right.
And the only distinction for individuals is that you have to be a U.S. citizen, correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. See, I get my
No,
homework.
So one question about you ladies. We got 134 members in the chamber. Does Union County have a small business week?
There's a chamber week.
Okay.
There's a chamber week that is actually September 9th through 13th. And last year, we took popcorn to all the chamber members.
I saw that.
And we were popping in to appreciate you. This COVID day has kind of dampened things. But there is an American Express Day that's a small business day, shop local day, that is the Saturday after Black Friday. And we went all out for it last Saturday and didn't have a lot of participation. We tried to do a passport thing, so we created passports. And if you went to all those stores and got a sticker saying that you were there and maybe you spent something and got 10% off or just something, and you went to all these participating retailers, then you brought this card back and you were entered to win XYZ. So, didn't have a lot of participation with that, but I'm not gonna say that I won't do it again, because I think the more you do stuff, the more people catch on. So, yes, right. So maybe you do it this time and you only have 20 or 30 people, but if you keep doing it and you keep growing, I'm not big on, wasting money and cutting into money to do stuff that's not, that's right. But, if we can get it to grow, and it does, love on our local merchants, that's what it's all about.
I have a question about,
Go ahead.
hold it up, virtual events in light of COVID-19 for your chamber members or people. Are you willing to do maybe an open house virtual event? Have you had something like that?
We have not, and I do have fellow chambers that are doing virtual events. And to be honest, I don't love it. I guess because I'm just such a
Right.
I don't. So we have had to cancel the chamber annual banquet that was planned in March. So we kept moving it. And we have sent refunds to all those people. So, but there are awards, so we will be doing those awards live. We're going to go into those industries and those small businesses, and we're going to do those awards live. So we'll see how that turns out. That will be virtual. So.
I'll tell you one thing, Jamie, about something I'm very proud of our chamber about. It's the young development program that you built over there.
The leadership union.
Love it. Love it.
So I inherited the leadership union, but I inherited it in a certain way, and I wanted to kind of change the criteria. So when I was at the development board,
Before you go further, can you tell everybody what that is for people that don't know?
yes, I'm going there. So when we were at the development board, I wanted to be able to reach those kids who were your average kid. So I felt like there were lots of programs geared towards your A and B student. My son was an A-B student, so he was in, Offstate Bank Junior Board, Junior Beta Club. He was in all these programs and all these things, but I wanted to grab that kid who didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. I wanted to be influencing that kid. I wanted him to see the industries and the things in Union that you don't have to. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to be this way, because you don't. You can be this way. So when I got there, I changed the criteria. I changed the criteria to 10th graders because you haven't decided what you want to do. And I can influence you in 10th grade. So you haven't decided. So I chose all 10th graders, and I called Spartanburg Community College and I said, what is your average GPA at the technical school side? And they said 3.0 to 3.5. So I called the school and I said, send me a list of all the kids who are 3.0 to 3.5. So every one of those kids got an application at the school in a big white manila envelope with their name on it. What they had to do was fill that out, have their parents sign it, and bring it to the chamber. That was their due diligence, bring it to the chamber. And I sent out 77 applications this last time, and I think I got 14. Once we start receiving more, we'll go through an interview process. I haven't had to do that, but we've tried to kind of make it an elite thing. So we started buying these nice jackets with these emblems on them. We want them to be, and the last group that I had broke me. I would say, don't wear holy blue jeans, do this. But you always got those that come show up. So I'm taking them to the steakhouse with blue jeans that are tore up. So I said, y'all won't get me on that. So I bought them on polos this last time. But yeah, we have a great time. We learn about Union. We do the history of Union. We do etiquette classes. We go into the industries and let them see what kind of industries we have, if it's permittable. We go to the city, the county, local government. We go to the state house. I've taken them to the South Carolina Department of Commerce and let them see how economic development flows down to the county level. Just all sorts of stuff that well rounds you. I want them to see, more than just the surface level of Union County.
It sounds like there might be some things that some entrepreneurs might need to check out too, and as part of that, is there something for them?
There has been an adult leadership program,
Yeah.
and there has been a push for it to start back again. And that is something we have been thinking about doing, looking at doing. There's a significant cost attached to it per person, and it takes a lot of time. So, but we have been asked to go back to that, and we are, we're halted now because of this virus, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to mention to those that own, have their own business, be careful, because when you have your own business, people think you are wealthy. So they come asking for money all the time. Now, when I first opened my business, and I thought some, this particular organization would come and welcome me to town, and I was disappointed when they didn't, but when they got ready to have their banquet, they wanted me to sponsor. Do you think I did it? No, because if you didn't think enough of me to welcome me, I'm opening a business, you could at least come and say hi, introduce yourself, but you want to come to me for money, it doesn't work like that. So if you own a business, everybody's going to come to you thinking that you just have this pot of gold and you can just give and give and give, and it doesn't work like that.
And they don't understand the work that you have to do. Like I remember, family members will call you Saturday morning, 6 a.m. I'll be out working. They in the bed. They'll sleep all day, wake up 2 o'clock in the, in the afternoon. Hey, cuz, I need a haircut. And by the way, can I pay you next week? While you at it, can I borrow $20? That's how it is.
Yeah, so you have to be careful of that.
Well, I live in District 5, and I urge every business that I go into in District 5 to say, hey guys, look, all of these citizens of the union in this particular district are supporting your business. I need a baseball team from you. I need you to sponsor a Little League stinger team or something. I need for you to spend that money that we're giving you back into this community, right? It's only going to be so much, but give back to our children, give back to our youth here, give back to our adults. That's one thing that I'm really big on with Essence Alteration is really, that's the reason why I don't care if I make a dime, but I want to provide something here to make the cost of living great for people, and there's a asset for the community, because everybody can't afford nice dress slacks. Everybody can't get everything, but go to that Goodwill and bring me those pants. I'll make them look new for you.
Yeah.
And talking about that, what you're trying to do, even with the baseball Little League, I actually went out and did my research on Little League, knowing what it brings to these counties like Simpsonville. They won the championship, and the president of South Carolina was actually wanting to invest in Union County, but it was so hard, to be honest, to even get that started. Like, why are y'all doing that with an organization such as Little League that will bring hotels? We could get hotels off of that because they have tournaments, but you get frustrated, like you said, but you don't give up. When you're an entrepreneur, you just continue to go, even though that's a volunteer organization, don't get paid nothing for that. But it was the love of union, trying to bring something to our town that the other leagues couldn't offer because of the stigma behind it. Where Little League was nationally known and recognized, and it has great sponsors. That it's just the work you try to do, but you get frustrated, like you said, but you just keep going.
And the work you try to do, I always tell people, just like you wrote and you said, well, I know it's Labor Day. I tell people I work 24/7.
Amen.
You gotta work 24/7. Yeah. So if you call me,
I've heard it said I don't want to do stuff because it turns out to be on the weekend.
weekend just runs right into the week.
That's right. Call my husband and ask him what I'm doing.
Mine too.
We have about 5 more
You get a
minutes.
weekend. I don't get a weekend.
We have about 5 more minutes. I had another question I want to ask before we get out of here. I kind of want to attack this 2 different ways. And as Jami said earlier about the youth leadership program, something about the kids had to have a 3.0 to kind of get in. What about those kids that are not at a 3.0 and they're not even sure they want to go to college, and they came to you and say, hey, I don't know really what I want to do yet, but they ask you something, they say maybe they want to start a business or something. What kind of advice would you give them as to like what route they should go, or maybe what type of business you would advise them? Of course, ultimately it's going to be their choice of what business they want to run, but if they ask you for your advice, what would you say?
What I would say is this. God places in all of us a passion, a desire, a passion, And I would say follow that passion. I'd say hold on to it. It will lead you to where you need to be. You hold on to that love of whatever it is, and it'll lead you to exactly where you're supposed to be if you have the determination.
Yeah.
That's good, that sums it up.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, that's a great point. We have a trade school, we got a vocational school, correct? Right?
Absolutely.
We have that, we have your traditional education school, but none of those two things have a class on entrepreneurship.
They didn't really teach us about it.
We never learned that, and that's for a different topic. Other than that's just something we close out with. But
Well, and I would add
Go
to
ahead.
it that there's that financial literacy,
Yes, that part.
which, we teach kids how to do everything but how to live in the world,
That's right.
frankly.
you're right.
So
Right.
how to write a check, how to do some of the things that maybe we got when we
Right.
had economics in school, civics and government and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
But being able to have a checking account and opening a checking account, having a business, having credit, knowing what credit worthiness is, how does that impact? And that's probably a whole episode that we probably should think about doing, because that's stuff that the entrepreneurs and the youth need. There's all kinds of rationale why it's not taught in schools.
Right.
I won't get into that.
Right.
But if we start doing it at home and in forums like this, then it can help boost those
And
entrepreneurs.
I would mind the chamber teaching an entrepreneur class. I
Wow.
wouldn't mind,
We need something.
infusing that into, and it could even be a virtual class. I have a great instructor.
Yes.
Yes.
I was wondering where she was going with that. But it would be good if that were to be taught. But the other thing, do people have checking accounts? Everybody has look, I do too, but everybody has Cash App
You
and
have to have a
Zelle and
checking account,
everything.
don't you?
No, I mean writing checks. People don't write checks anymore. Every time I say, well, I want to write a check, well, can you Cash App me?
Or Venmo.
My Zelle?
My daddy's 65 was telling about Venmo today.
Yes.
So don't even talk about Venmo. I don't know what you're talking about.
I still write checks and they're talking, can you Cash App me?
My one final question that I have is potentially what businesses do you see coming to Union County in the future?
I see things coming that are going to support student housing. I really see that, there's a breath of fresh air there, and I feel like we can capitalize on it. I feel like we gotta keep pushing, I feel like we need some entertainment value. We need some more restaurants, we need some casual dining. We need a good sports bar downtown. There's a lot that we need, and I am very hopeful.
Sounds like a lot of opportunity.
There is a lot of
In
opportunity.
Union County.
Do we have a
Yes.
restaurant coming
Yes.
soon that you're working on Main Street? Please tell me you do. You don't have to get into it, but yeah.
No, I have some really good stuff going on. We're really excited.
Yeah.
That's good.
Retail.
Well, speak on the little restaurant that you have up there now.
Mr. Patel, Anil Patel, opened Main Street Deli. He is a compliment to Ellie Bell and Belmont Farm and our little Heavenly Arts, who is a ceramic shop. And there's several wonderful shopping boutiques, but the Main Street Deli is just precious. He has a wide range of sandwiches and pizzas. And Mr. Patel was eligible for some incentives that came from the city and the county because he chose to do something that enhanced our quality of life. So you can't come to Union and decide you want to do a salon and expect to get any incentives, because we got that. Mexican restaurant, we got that. We need something that will enhance our quality of life. So there are incentives out there. He was able to grab hold of those incentives. Go
And
ahead.
mention this because we only have like a minute. But mention this, the depot. You can get your food and then go sit at the depot to eat and enjoy.
Yeah,
you
Talk
only
about
got
the depot.
right
So
quick.
the depot will be, it is where Barbara's Bridal was. Barbara's Bridal had burned, and that building was donated to the city, and it was just a blight and a hole in the floor. So we pitched that it be turned into a breezeway or an alleyway or a patio or whatever you want to call it. And tables, patios, picnic tables can be put on there. So my vision for that is You guys sitting out there drinking a cup of coffee, having a sandwich, eating a slice of pizza, an ice cream cone, and just sitting there and enjoying downtown Union as it bustles around you. That's the vision.
Right. So, with Ms. Tramell and Ms. Pendergrass, thank you ladies for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We really
Yeah,
enjoyed
thank
this
you.
conversation. As you,
No, I thought we were about to do a clap. My bad.
Let's do it.
you ladies deserve it. We appreciate it. Hopefully everybody learned something from this episode of Union It's Time We Talk. We'll be more than happy to have you ladies back once again because this was very educating, like something we definitely need. So I took a lot away from this conversation as well. So for everybody watching this episode, keep tuning in. Also, thank you to Essence Alterations for tuning in, for sponsoring this podcast. Also, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and also, I think I said everything, SoundCloud. So those are all the platforms you're going to be on. And also my website, carlosksmith.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, keep chasing dreams because Union's Time We Talk. Thank you for tuning in.